welcome back to the Sports Countdown podcast. Special episode today as we're doing our very own sweepstake for the 2022 World Cup, which starts this weekend. Ryan, thanks for joining me. Pleasure to have you along.
Pete, it's been a while, but what a time to come back for. The World Cup is here. It's in November. Madness.
Beautiful.
So, can't wait for it.
Yes, sir. We're going to go with the sweepstake to start this episode. So a massive thank you to everyone taking part. 32 countries, so 32 people. We really appreciate it. We know this World Cup isn't for everyone. There's a lot of controversy around Qatar. We're definitely not happy that it's being hosted there. Pretty horrendous views a lot of the time. But I don't think we can solve FIFA's problems on this podcast, to be fair. And at least we can have some enjoyment with it with a sweepstake. So we'll do that. Also in this episode, we're going to do a preview of the tournament. We'll try to keep it as brief as possible, but we'll just go through each group, pick out some key players, some key teams, some dark horses as well. So no pressure to hang around after, but we'd love it if you could listen. And finally, just before we start, we're going to give a quick shout out to Freelance Football Ops, great source of paid football media roles. And there are obviously plenty of roles at this time because of the World Cup. So if you're looking for a job in the industry right now, you can give them a shout on Twitter or LinkedIn or their website. So, without further ado, as they say, Ryan is going to draw out the names and I am going to draw out the countries. We all know how it works by now, but yeah, we've actually got 16 people each, so 32. We haven't done anything dodgy, don't worry. We know how it works. You can't all have a Brazil or a France, and someone's going to land a Qatar or Saudi Arabia, but it is what it is. So, yeah. Ryan, ready to rock?
Yeah, Pete, I'm ready. But maybe just one final thing on the juiciness of it. Winner takes home a cool 100. Second place takes home a modest £40.
Yes.
And then third place comes home with a nice little payday of 20 quid. So, don't worry if you get one of the middle level teams. There's still always a chance.
Absolutely. Right, here we go then. First name out of the hat, Ryan. It's up to you.
In honor of Rod Stewart.
Let's see it.
Let's go with it. We have Kieran.
Okay, let's see it. There's two Kierans in there, I think, isn't there? But that one's with a K.
Yeah.
Kieran. Okay, Kieran.
Kieran McLeod.
Let's have it. Got a name. We've got Uruguay first out of the bag.
That's not bad.
Not a bad start.
That's not a bad start.
Not at all. Okay.
There's worse.
Absolutely.
Right. Next up, we have Julia. Italian Julia. Let's
try and do her a favor here. We have a
girlfriend for anyone asking.
We have Australia. No judgment here. I'm sorry to the Australians, but
AKA Scotland. I'll be supporting Australia at the World Cup. So
AKA Scotland. Yeah, half the team. I'm sorry, Julia.
Next up, we have Gareth Jones.
Let's do it.
Currently down under in Australia.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. For Gareth, we have Iran.
Not a bad team.
Not a bad team.
Rough
they always
at the moment.
They're always there. Yeah, but they're in the World Cup.
They're there at least.
Get these sides out of the way early. That's what we all like to see.
Okay, next up we have Ryan Kerwin.
Bolton
Wanderers fan. So let's hope we can do better than Bolton.
Absolutely. Bolton's a good side. Let's see it. For Ryan, we have Croatia.
That's solid.
Yes.
World
Cup finalists, I believe, last time out, 2018. So yeah, they'll be strong this year again. Absolutely.
For sure. Next, we have Jack Lawrence.
See what I can do for you, mate. It's nerve-wracking. For Jack, we have Canada.
Alphonso Davies. It's not a bad shout. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's
not the best. Not the worst.
You never know.
Yeah. Davies playing in centre mid for them instead of left back.
That's an exciting one. One.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Mike.
Mike, let's do it for my brew, Mike. Hopefully I can sort you out. Get a bit of the money. For Mike, we have Serbia.
Ooh,
Interesting one,
nice.
Serbia. We'll get on to them in the preview.
On
Don't worry,
form.
Mike. Yeah. Hit and miss.
Next up, we have there.
There.
Pete told me. Pete, Pete told me to say like that.
Look, I missed the wee fada, to be fair, Dara, mate. Sorry, there's just not many traditional Irish names out there. Let's see it. You deserve a good team now for getting called there. He has got South Korea for Dara.
That's better than the North. So,
Well,
lucky you.
very, very good. He's got Son. His son can remain injury free, then you've got a chance.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Not the worst. Next up, we have Aaron McKenna.
Aaron McKenna. Let's see it for Aaron. Another good local man here. Aaron, you have got Saudi Arabia.
Ooh,
The less we say about that one, the better, to be fair.
I hope you collected the money already, Pete.
Say nothing. Yeah, we're flying through this.
Next up, we have Andrew.
Andrew, let's see it for Andy Pierce. Good luck, big man. We have got Belgium. First big team out of the hat here. Belgium looking very.
Is it time?
Mm-hmm.
Is it time?
Golden generation. It's their
Is it the last chance?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next up, we have James.
James. It's here for James. No pressure. Easy boy. Let's see if I can do you a favor here. You have got Morocco.
Ooh.
More on Morocco later as well. Don't worry, we'll be covering all these teams in the preview, so hang around as we say. But I know if you get a bad side, you've already turned it off. To be fair, we go ahead.
Next up, we have Kenny.
Kenny, let's
Paddy
see.
Kenny.
Do you a favor. Paddy Kenny, King Kenny, Kenny Dalglish. Let's see what he's got. Give him a good shuffle. In there, and we've got Portugal.
Ooh.
Wow, you take that one, absolutely.
If Ronaldo's going to play.
If Ronaldo turns up, well, they've still got plenty of talent in there, let's be honest. Not a bad team at all.
Next up, we have Steph.
Let's see, Steph. Let's see what we can do here. Steph, you have got Japan.
Take that. That's not bad.
You didn't sound too confident there. Not bad. That's a standard reply there. Not bad.
It's not Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar's yet to be drawn.
Wow. I'm sure it can happen soon. Next up, we have David.
David boy, let's see what I can do for you, mate. Straight out of the bag, we've got England.
Ooh.
I apologize for the way I said that. But yes.
You sound like a fan?
I know. We all had an England shirt back in the day, but David definitely won't be supporting England, but it's great to see that he will be now. So, yeah, decent one, that.
Next up, we have Jenny Will from Dundee.
Dundee deserves a good team, surely, after all that history. With the Dundee United or Dundee?
United.
Okay. Not the worst. Jenny, you have got Cameroon. Iconic team in the tournament back in the day. Let's see what they've got this year.
Legends of the game. Wouldn't be good if Cameroon won at the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the guy I replaced, Declan.
Just temporarily.
Just temporarily, of course.
See what we can do for you, Declan, mate. I'm sure you'll be watching on. You've got Ghana.
Well,
Officially the lowest ranked team in the tournament, I believe. But I really don't see that. I mean, world rankings don't mean everything, and I think they've got a decent side. So never say never.
yeah, agreed. Don't think they'll win it, but they'll be fun.
You never know.
Next up, we have Ryan Murray,
The big
aka
man.
myself.
Let's see it. Give these a good shuffle. Anyone you want?
That one.
This one. You've got
That one right there.
moment of truth.
No. Oh.
Call it off.
Is this live?
It's
Is this
Qatar
live?
for anyone who's listening and not watching. Look,
Oh.
representing. Stick that right there. A big dirty Q for Qatar. Oh,
Oh, that's a fiver down the drain.
I've got nothing left.
Oh.
Oh, call it off.
Oh.
Are you okay to continue?
Just what's the point? The bloody point.
It's beautiful, but it's not. It's bittersweet. I'm sorry.
Wow. Let's hope I can live through someone else. Next up, we have, talking to someone else, my brother, Aaron. Big up Aaron, just on his honeymoon, so probably won't be watching this for a little bit.
He will. He has good Wi-Fi. Oh, I don't think I can do this anymore. That's so funny. For Aaron, we've got the US of A.
Thumbs up.
The young squad of USA. Not bad. Better than Qatar. Oh,
Jesus Christ. You put all this effort into making the paper,
the show must go on.
Collecting the money, doing it all to get Qatar. This just doesn't make it worth it.
Had to happen.
But let's see if we can change that. My good friend lives in Brussels, Paddy, the only Paddy from Burnley.
Yeah, not many of them. Let's go for it, Paddy. See what you've got. Paddy, you have got Germany.
Yeah, that's German. Not bad.
Yeah, that is very decent. They'll be up there for sure this year. Maybe I'll split it with you.
Next up, we have Ailey.
Another good Scot.
Good Scot indeed.
Here we
Crazy
go.
name.
Great name. Ailey, for you have the Spaniards. Spain, yes. Big side in the World Cup, of course.
She's a big fan of Tenerife, so I'm sure she's going to be happy with that.
Absolutely. You can celebrate there when you've won.
Probably do your whole inclusive holiday that.
Spain, Qatar final.
Next up, we have Reese, currently based in Inverness. So let's hope we can put a bit of sun in his day.
Have it. Reese, you have got France. Big teams are coming out now, all in a row.
France. Big up Reese, by the way. He was number one for a little bit in the Euros fantasy football for the group stages in Scotland. So, he knows his stuff, and he obviously knows his sweepstakes. So
absolutely. Fair play to Reese.
Next up, we have Kirsty. Will.
That's a Kirsty.
Liverpool fan.
Here she goes. Who will she be supporting in the World Cup? The Netherlands. Ethan, decent. They're my sneaky favorites. More on that later.
Don't tease them.
I can't. We're running up here, boys and girls.
We have Jack Perry, currently based in Denmark, Copenhagen. Jack Perry.
Would be sweet if you got Denmark, wouldn't it? Jack, you have got Switzerland.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Shaqiri, I'll turn up for you.
Power cube. Next up, we have Martin. 6'7" Martin.
6'7" deserves a big team then for a big man. Martin, you have got Tunisia.
Well,
well,
that's all I'm going to say.
That's all that needs to be said. Absolutely.
We're running out of teams.
You never know.
Next, we have.
It's nervous.
Jack Martin.
Jack Martin. Let's give these a good shuffle for Jacko. Let's see what you're doing here, Jack. You have got Ecuador. They're first up on Sunday against the host, Qatar. Yeah, there's possibility of getting through. You're welcome,
Seeing
Jack.
some rumors about Ecuadorian players being bribed. It's all starting already.
Perfect.
So
the perfect team for Jack.
if you lose 1-0 against Qatar, then maybe we'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we won't because I have Qatar. Next up, we have Matthias.
Yes, let's see it. You have been drawn Argentina. Costa Rica.
Oh.
Interesting.
Joe Campbell still kicking the ball.
Joe Campbell's still there. Brian Ruiz is still there, would you believe? Absolute baller. There's hope. There's hope for everyone, except for Qatar, really.
Next up, we have Sean McCormick, Gretna fan.
Sorry, Sean.
Okay.
Let's see it for Sean. Can't be Gretna, I'm afraid, but it is Poland.
Ooh.
Oh, Lewandowski. You're always got a chance with that man up top.
Lewandowski. Let's see, comes true.
Very good.
Next up, we have Stevie Clark.
Well spelled with the PH there. I know he's not a fan of the V.
Stephen.
I mean that. Okay, Stephen, you're up. Let's see. Stevie, he always does well on sweepstakes. He always gets a good team.
All the bad teams are gone.
Mexico. He likes a wee Mexican, to be fair.
That's a fun team.
He looks like a wee Mexican as well, so that's a compliment, Steve. Don't worry. Right, we are.
I didn't say that. Next up, we have Kieran with a C.
Kieran with a C, Kieran Turner. Sadly, England are gone. He's an England man, absolutely. Let's see. He's been
name like that?
Yeah, he's an England dairy man. Kieran, you have been drawn the wheels. Interesting one. In a group with England, of course. Gareth Bale has declared himself 100% fit, which is not just a lie, to be honest. But
the guy's never been 100% fit.
Never.
Next up, we have Terence
Logue, another good dairy man. Let's see who you've been drawn, T-Man. You have got Brazil, the favourites for the tournament. He's been drawn Brazil. You'll be happy with that one, absolutely. You can buy me a wee Chinese there, Terence, anytime you want.
Last three now, Pete. Last three.
Yeah, for me too. Thank goodness we've done it right. Hopefully.
Sven Wilkie. German living in Croatia, living the life. Let's see if we can get him something good.
Sven, you have been drawn with Denmark.
It's not bad, Sven. You'll be happy with that.
Did well in the Euros, of course.
Last two now. Last two.
And I'm one of them. I'm a bit nervous.
Peter Lynch.
Let's see who we've got.
I want to see this. I want to see you mix them.
They're absolutely well mixed.
Close your eyes.
Okay, great idea.
Which one do you want? They didn't tell at all.
Which one do you want? Right or left? One in my hand or the one not in my hand?
The one not in your hand.
Okay, I'll do a good swap. There we go.
You have to open your eyes though.
Thank you so much. I have been drawn Senegal. Let's hear Sadio Mane. Better be fit. It's been carrying
on show.
Let's see what happens. Come on, the Senegal.
Just proof. Last name. Coming out the draw. We've done it right, Pete.
Hopefully. I should have Argentina in here.
Ian Wills, civil engineer up in Inverness.
Let's see it.
Doesn't need the money, well, he'll enjoy it.
He's going to get it, perhaps, because he's got Argentina. Whew.
That's it. Congratulations, everyone apart from myself.
Pull it off. Well, to be fair, we've been drawn in the same group, actually, would you believe? Senegal and Qatar are in Group A. So.
Well, we know what we'll be watching. Unbelievable.
I'll not be watching the World Cup, I'll tell you that. I'm a celebrity.
I'd rather watch Matt Hancock. Jesus.
No, he does not deserve a shout out in this podcast. But that's it.
Big up, Matt.
That was tense, man. That was tough, but I'm glad it's over now, to be fair. So all that's left to say is enjoy the tournament. And thanks for taking part. And we're going to get into a wee preview here if we can still manage the confidence to get through this now. So if you want to hang around, then please do. But yeah, if you're happy, then go and celebrate. If you're not, then you might as well stick around and listen. Right, we're going to go through the groups here, Ryan. Yes.
Yes, sir. I am happy to do that.
Well, we've just mentioned Group A, which is Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar. Maybe a bit raw for you here.
Well, look, you got to look at it. Qatar have to go through, really. Especially with these bribing allegations.
Yeah.
But sadly, I think I'm going to fall at the first hurdle. My fiver is down the drain, and so is my confidence, if I'm being honest with you. But I tell you what, Pete, shouldn't be too far behind with Senegal.
Right.
Love the team. Love actually when the way they play, usually so full of excitement, usually when they're at major competitions. But I don't think you can look past the Netherlands for this. And Ecuador, they're not too shabby themselves. It's interesting. To come second place in this one, it could be close. It really depends on if Mane's going to come through.
Yep. Let's hope he does. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, home confidence could come into it, and home support, obviously, for Qatar. But I mean, it's a big ask for them, surely.
Yeah. Well, talking of that, it's a big ask. Group B, England, Iran, United States, and Wales. Is it coming home?
Nah, it's definitely not coming home. No chance ever. Never, ever, ever coming home. But they will top the group. I mean, it'd be really, really bad for England if they don't top the group with that squad that they have. So yeah, I think England in first place. Then the next one's quite tricky, because I mean, if you take a look at the world rankings, which we said don't mean everything, but all four teams here are actually in the top 20. So I can't see Iran beating, challenging Wales or the USA. I think it's between those two for second. And I honestly think Wales, if Bale does stay fit, then I'm going to say Wales. I know there's a lot of confidence with the USA, but I think they're still quite a young team and they still have a lot of experience to gain. So in that case, I'm going to go for England first and then Wales second.
Wow. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
I know. But yeah, maybe more straightforward then for Group C. You've got Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Any thoughts on that one?
Well, I think whoever got Saudi Arabia in the draw, I'm sorry, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Mexico and Poland. You never know. You never know, really. My heart is telling me Poland.
Right.
Lewandowski. I think actually, if I had to do it, Poland are going to go top. That's me. Poland top, Argentina second, Mexico third. I think it's going to be a good group, this one. I think it's going to be a good group. I think Argentina is going to be the upset, not coming first.
Interesting. Very interesting. We'll see what happens there.
And so, look, moving forward, Group D. This is an interesting group. This France, Australia, aka Scotland, Denmark, and Tunisia. What are we saying?
I can't see past France, to be honest. I think they'll be real challengers for the title, not just the group. So yeah, France topping Group D. I think with Mbappe, Benzema, those kind of players. I know they're missing Pogba and Kante with injuries, but I mean they still have a ridiculous team. So yeah, France top. And I'd probably say Denmark, just on what they've done recently. I think they're actually 10th in the world rankings, which is pretty crazy for Denmark. But yeah, I think I'd have to go France and then Denmark for that one. Sorry to Tunisia and Australia. Group E, one of the toughest ones for sure, I think, given the fact that Spain and Germany are both in it. I mean, but you can't really rule out Japan and Costa Rica causing a few upsets as well. So any ideas what will happen here? Tough one.
This is my prediction here that Spain or Germany is going out. I
Interesting.
think I think Japan are going through. I don't know why. I just feel it. I just feel that's Spain and Germany. These teams. One of them always goes.
Mm,
Like I think it must be like 2004 since the last time one of them. One or the other didn't get past the group stages or the first round of knockouts. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Born in Germany, I guess. I'm gonna go Germany, top of the group. Japan, last game, come through. Costa Rica with an upset against Spain.
interesting. See what happens there. Big call that.
That is a big call. But talking of big calls, Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. One's
Hmm.
probably very certain, but speak for the rest.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in the sweepstake there. Belgium, golden generation. Is it their last chance? They still have, De Bruyne, Lukaku, if he can stay fit. Trossard's having an unbelievable season. Hazard as well. If these guys turn up, Courtois and goals. So yeah, I can't see past Belgium to top that group. And then yeah, again, I have to go with a big one. Sorry, Croatia. 2018 finalists lost to France, but I think they still have plenty of talent in that squad. So yeah, for me, Belgium and Croatia 1 and 2. But again, Morocco, a few decent players in there, and
Yeah.
also Canada. They could spring a few surprises. They'll be well up for it for sure. So, moving on to another big team in Group G, which is Brazil. And they've been paired alongside Switzerland, Serbia, and Cameroon. So, what do you think there? Straightforward one for Brazil?
Straightforward for Brazil for sure, but this is going to be the best group. This is my feeling. This is going to be the best one.
Hmm.
Cameroon always bring a lot of excitement to any World Cup. They bring dancing, they bring flavor, they bring fun, which can carry you competition.
Yeah.
Um, but if I had to go for it, we'll probably touch on it later. But I think Brazil first, Serbia second.
Hmm.
Solid team in great form.
Yeah. Nice.
And Pete, final Group H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. Finish
Yeah.
it.
Um, Again, it sounds easy to say, but I just think Portugal, yeah, they have to top that group. I think South Korea and Ghana, they do have some quality players, but again, it's sort of a squad, especially with this World Cup. Injuries are going to play a part, fatigue, the heat, everything is going to combine. And Portugal
Mhm.
just have a crazy squad depth. And then Uruguay, we all know the history of what people like Luis Suarez will do to get through to the next round. So we'll see what happens in that one. But yeah, for me, it's going to be Portugal 1 and Uruguay 2.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, that's a great group, but there can only be one winner. And I think we
Hmm.
both need to answer this, and I'm too scared to go first. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to switch it up from what we discussed.
Nice.
Tell me, Pete, who are you saying?
Yeah, you're not throwing me off guard because I've said it for a long time now. So I just can't see past Brazil, to be honest, for this tournament. I know they're favorites. Again, I haven't said anything
Mhm.
that's going to be shocking or anything, but I mean, I know you didn't fancy Spain, but I like the look of Spain. I think Netherlands could be a shock. France are always up there, but for Brazil, I just think with that squad that they've got, Allison and Ederson, both in goals, fighting for that position. You have Thiago Silva, Marquinhos at the back, Militao. Um, Midfield, you've got the likes of Fabinho, Casemiro, even Dani Alves still at the back, still going. And then up front, I think they've taken like 9 forwards or something with them. And it's like Vinicius Jr., Gabriel Jesus,
Yeah.
Rafinha, Anthony. I just think that skill and talent, and Neymar, of course, forgot to mention him. So yeah, for me, it's going to be the Brazilians. So that's my shout. What about you?
Well, Pete, I gotta say, I don't see it with Brazil. I think it's the
No.
classic too many forwards dilemma. England had it not too long ago as well, and then they get desperate and they shove everyone on, and it just doesn't work.
Hmm.
I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to say Portugal. Some might not say sensible, but I just think that there's just where the talent is there, it's there, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
What you get for them is day in day out, and if they're having a bad game, there's two or three people who can just take it by the scruff of the neck and just do something incredible. So
Hmm.
I'm going Portugal, but a close second for me has to be the Netherlands. I think they've
Yeah.
just got a great, solid team all round.
Hmm.
Some world class players, but also in the weaker areas, solid players that can make a difference. So
Yep.
my second, my slight outside favorite, but
You only
not
get one.
exactly an outcast. But
You
Portugal for me.
Interesting. Love it. Love to hear it. So that's the winners. I was just gonna obviously touch on some players as well. That I think maybe could have a good competition. We've seen it before where the likes of, remember James Rodriguez, that competition he had, and these players step up in the big tournaments and then they get a big money move soon after. Um, so yeah, I just thought if I'm not boring you, I could name a few who could have a good tournament. And obviously, you have Mbappe, Messi, Benzema, Neymar, Keane, they're all going to be standouts, but I'm thinking of some of the lesser known players maybe. Um Maybe Cody Gakpo is one that stands out for me for the
Yeah,
Netherlands. Probably the main one. He's having a really strong campaign for PSV. He's been linked with plenty of top clubs already. And he could go as early as January if the big move does come in, if he does have a good tournament for the Netherlands, like you said. Mohamed Kudus is another one for Ghana, playing for Ajax. He
yeah.
scored 4 goals in 6 Champions League matches this season, one against Liverpool as well. So I think he's going to be dangerous, attacking midfielder. Um, Not so lesser known, but Federico Valverde. I think honestly he's one of the best players in the world at the minute. He can play basically anywhere. To be honest, he can do it all. So I think if Uruguay have a good tournament, he's going to be key to it in that midfield alongside Bentancur. So that'll be a decent one. And then the last one is a former Bruges man, club close to our hearts. If I can get the name right, Charles de Ketelaere. Sorry,
Yeah.
big man. He's playing for AC Milan in attacking mid. And I think he's going to do well. It's kind of the next generation of Belgium, and I think he's going to be. He's been called the next De Bruyne already, and I think he's really talented. So we could have a good one.
Love it, Pete. Yeah, there's always going to be a standout.
Mhm.
Shame there's no Tim Howard in this one
Yeah.
because the one guy who's averaged his entire career until it comes to a World Cup. But I'm sure there'll be someone else. But look, Pete, there's some really good teams in this. This is a flavorful World Cup.
Hmm.
Shame about the location, as we said,
Yeah.
but we've got a great mix of strong teams from across the world. And as you've highlighted here, you've gone for that South American guess. I've gone for a European, but there are some teams that are slight outsiders or
Hmm.
big outsiders. We mentioned Ghana already being the worst ranked team in this, behind the likes of Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which I think we can both agree is not getting there. So look, what I want from you as our countdown at the end, this was a tough decision, but we get this feeling, the World Cup makes teams that you remember that specific team and you look back and you think of that team and you think of the year that it was in.
Hmm.
So with that in mind, Pete, who are your three dark horses that don't exactly need to win the World Cup to be considered dark horse, but could shock everyone and get further than you'd expect?
Yeah.
Starting with number three.
Well put. Well put. I mean, this one's kind of unofficial, not in my top three, if you'll let me away with it. But we talked about them already. It's the Netherlands,
Honorable mention.
because I
Right.
don't know if they are too big to be considered dark horses. You know what I mean? So I'm a bit cheeky including them, but officially they're not inside it. Unofficially they are. So I just think, yeah, they haven't won a World Cup, to be fair. So that kind of puts them as not among the giants of like Brazil and Germany. They've got three runners up that 3 times, so that's
Yeah.
they've been there, but they just haven't won it. But I think, as you said, strong all over. Van Dijk, Ake, Timber at the back, De Jong in the middle, Dumfries and Blind other side, Depay, Gakpo, Bergwijn going forward, and then your bench, like the players that can come on. De Ligt could be on the bench, De Vrij,
Yeah.
Xavi Simons on the bench, Frimpong, ex-Celtic man, has been called up, Malacia, United, De Bruyne. So yeah, I think for me they could be a threat this year. But moving rapidly on to my top three, because I know we're going to run out of time. And I want to see an African team win it, so I've gone for Morocco as my number three.
Like it.
I think it's gone with my heart more than my head, but I mean, I think they've got talented players all over. They've got Mazraoui from Bayern Munich, Saiss, Hakimi at the back as well, West Ham guy, Agard. And midfield, they've got Amrabat playing in centre mid, and I saw him play for Fiorentina a month or two ago against Inter Milan, and he was the best player on the pitch, very composed. And they've got Ziyech, hasn't had the
Of
best season
course.
with Chelsea, but he's still there. And Buffal, he's a baller in my opinion, and he can do damage on their day. So they're my third. Number two, it's a bit of a toss up here. I don't really know which one to go for. I'll go for Serbia on the basis that both Mitrovic and Vlahovic, their two leading strikers, are carrying injuries
Mhm.
going into the tournament. So it's a bit of a shame for that. But if those two can knock those injuries off, then I think they're going to be a real threat. They are in a group with Brazil, which is a bit deadly, and that's their first game. So it's going to be a tricky start, but maybe they'll rest Mitrovic and Vlahovic for that, and they can come back. But after that, they've got Tadic in midfield, Milinkovic, Savic,
Yeah.
and Kostic out wide. They topped their qualifying group. Don't think they're too strong at the back, but I mean they score plenty of goals and they're very direct. And when they have the ball, they like to make use of it. So Serbia for me, number two. And finally, my number one is going to be Uruguay.
Ooh.
I can just see something happening up there with Luis Suarez and Darwin Núñez together. It's just an absolute madness. It's
Filthy.
yeah, yeah. They're either going to be very good or very bad, or do something crazy, get sent off, or start a fight or something. So I think they can do some damage. And they've got Bentancur and Valverde behind them, like I said, and then at the back you have Muslera in goals, who
Hmm.
seems to be around forever. Another goalkeeper that just comes alive in the World Cup. And Jimenez at the back with Diego Godin, who's still going strong, and he must be about 50 years old, but skipper at the back, and he's going to lead them. So we'll see what happens with Uruguay. And I think they have a group with Portugal, and I think they can get out of that. So that'll be key. So I think
Yeah.
they might have a good one. So that's me. That's the top three, and we'll see what happens.
Love that. That's some top three, to be honest with you. I'll give you that. You've gone for the 22nd ranked Morocco, 21st ranked Serbia, and then
Hmm.
14th ranked Uruguay, which I think is very high for
Yeah.
Uruguay and some of the teams that are below it.
Hmm.
But there's so much Pete we haven't covered on this, but I'm sure we're going to be covering it over the next month as it goes on. So do make sure
Absolutely.
you come back even if your team gets knocked out,
Hmm.
like myself. If I get Qatar, at least you can come back for another one to see me
Yeah.
cry when it
Absolutely.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's so much we haven't spoke about the drama with Ronaldo. We haven't spoke
Mhm.
about Wigan Athletic sacking their manager, obviously the biggest topic at the
Big
moment.
one.
Haven't spoke about Mike Ashley buying Coventry City's stadium.
Hmm.
Just
Weird.
crazy they bought a stadium and not the club.
Yeah.
And there's so much in the world going on, but we're going to be focused on the World Cup, so is everyone else. And
Hmm.
just here we go. We'll never see it again in November. Hopefully, we'll never see it again in November. Hopefully, we'll
Hopeful.
never see it again in Qatar.
Absolutely
Um,
not.
and yeah, thank
Beautiful.
you very much.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who took part. Cheers, Ryan. Thanks for doing the deeds there. Appreciate it, and for soldiering on after the the moment.
We'll
And
redo it, right? We'll
yeah,
redo it
yeah.
after
This is
this.
just
Yeah.
a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal. Right. Pleasure as always. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to your teams. Hope you enjoy the tournament as much as possible. And as Ryan said, we'll be back with more content as soon as possible. So cheers and all the best.
Bye.